yeah, Veronica Mars, I'm watching you. Private eyes.
Hello and welcome to You're a Podcast. I'm Joe.
And I'm Travis.
And today we are bringing you yet another non-Veronica Mars episode, but no, nothing Veronica Mars related. We're talking about animated TV shows today. I know we had one about bingeable TV, but we never talked about like any animated shows, and
no,
that's probably one of the easiest things to binge for the most part.
It's also like easy to binge, but then also really hard to binge. So a lot of times it's so like there's no follow through story, so it's a bit harder.
It depends on like what you're binging.
Yeah.
Like, well, I don't know. I would kind of say like anything without a storyline going through would be easier to binge because it's just like nonsense. Important episode nonsense.
Maybe
nonsense,
it shows
nonsense,
where it's like
nonsense.
it's a mix of both is hard.
I could see that. I don't know. I just think
when we get to it, I have a couple because like take a show like Sailor Moon. It is so story driven, but it's also so filler driven. Like there is a main overarching story for because there's usually like 40 episodes a season, and the main story takes maybe like 12 of those episodes. So you have like 30 episodes of filler.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to like. I would rather binge that than like over the course of a year I've gotten 2 plot points.
True.
Like that's one of the things like Dragon Ball Z, if you want to take from there. There's a lot of filler in that. And then what's nice about like both Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball Z, they came out with like kind of series that kind of cut out a lot of that filler.
They did, but Sailor Moon Crystal fucking sucks. And it got rid of a lot of the filler, and it's based more on the manga, but it also got rid of like all the character development, and like it's basically these one-dimensional nobody characters that if you've never seen Sailor Moon, you will have no idea what any of the things going on. So
I never got past, I don't think I even finished the first season.
Also, the animation was not great. Just read the manga or watch the original anime. Like, whatever.
Oh my god. I don't care what people say. I love me a good dub.
Oh, the deep
the
dub
stupider
from
the better
is amazing. That's my biggest thing I hate about a lot of Sailor Moon fans is they're like, oh, I'm a purist. I'm like, but what got you into Sailor Moon? What made you love this show? I'm guessing you weren't a 5-year-old in North America watching the Japanese subtitles. I can tell you that right now. You're watching whatever channel they aired, the American dub, or technically Canadian dub, the dub,
American.
and yeah. So love it or hate it,
and then sticking their nose up at it
show.
after.
Like, I know.
Come on.
So what
it's
do you
not
want
that serious.
That's a great way. Let's start talking about our favorite childhood shows.
So, I watched almost exclusively cartoons. Like, most of... It took a while for... Like, Boy Meets World was a non-cartoon show that I loved.
I was going to say Power Rangers, but Power Rangers was basically a cartoon.
I mean, that was very easy to get into, live action.
Power Rangers was also, I'm realizing, the sexual awakening for a lot of young gay boys.
Oh, yeah. And very much confused whether or not they wanted to be Kimberly or be with Kimberly.
Right?
You wanted to be Kimberly. You wanted to be her friend. You wanted to be the Pink Ranger.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, she's cute.
You didn't want to date her.
But I want to be her. I
had the biggest crush on Amy Jo Johnson, though. Like, but who didn't? Who didn't?
She was like the safe gay crush. And I'm sure she gets that a lot. She's like, oh, I loved you as a kid, but now I'm super gay.
Did you watch Susie Q?
I have seen Susie Q.
That was such a good movie with her. I loved it. Okay, but that's not an animated show.
That's the only reason I started watching Felicity is because she was in it, and then her character leaves, and I stopped watching it.
That's so upsetting.
What?
That she would leave. Like, something different. Was she at least in a couple? I never watched Felicity.
She was in the first 2 seasons, and then her mom died in real life, and she left the show.
Oh, that's tragic.
Yeah, I read an interview because J.J. Abrams is like, I really don't want you to go, but I understand that you have to go.
Oh, that's
And she even said, she's like, I regret it, but I was like that moment in my life where I'm like,
okay, why hasn't he put her in anything else?
Exactly.
Let's get our girl Amy Jo Johnson in some things. Like,
she could be a Star Wars.
Oh my god,
she could be a Star Wars. She'd be a great Star Wars.
She could be a Jedi's. She could be Jedi's. Yeah, she could do Jedi's. She could do that. She could do droids and Jedi's.
I'm surprised he didn't get her in Lost.
Or like Fringe. Or any of the Cloverfields.
Or Alias.
Like, he has 12 different Cloverfield movies. Why not?
No, she could be a Cloverfield.
She could be a Cloverfields. She can be
Amy
Cloverfield
Jo Johnson.
monster.
Here's our campaign for Amy Jo Johnson as a Cloverfield.
What if she's the Cloverfield monster?
What if she is the Cloverfield?
Oh my god. Let's talk about cartoons.
So obviously Sailor Moon was like a big one for me.
Me too. It's like that Toonami block really changed my life for the better.
So we'll talk about that quickly. So Joe brought up some questions. So in Canada, we did not have Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network. We had YTV,
White
Teletoon,
TV?
Y youth.
Oh, Y
youth TV.
Like Canada.
They
would
aired
have
a lot of
TV.
things. Because on the weekends they aired like their not mature block, but like older kid block. Because they aired Buffy on YTV.
Their PG block, not their
PG
G block.
Yeah.
PG
we had Teletoon. We had Fox Kids.
Mm.
So that's
Same
where
with
I
us.
watched like
WB
Digimon. We did
Or
have
Kids WB.
But I think I got to... That's when I was starting to get older. It was when Kids WB... Because we didn't have WB in Canada until like 2004.
That's tragic.
Yeah.
So upset.
Whenever the last season of Angel was, is when we finally got WB.
2005.
Yeah. So around there.
Damn.
Yeah.
So, like, you met me a year after you got the WB? That's insane. That's crazy. That's going to be the milestone in our friendship. You remember... How long have you known each other? Well, do you remember when the WB came to Canada? A year after that. That's how long we've been friends.
Oh my god.
That's a good...
But a lot of the Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network shows would just air on those channels in Canada. We have a Cartoon Network now, and I think we have a Nickelodeon now, but I don't have cable, so I don't know.
That's crazy. Like, growing up, my Nana and Papa had cable, and she... Like, Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network were in two different packages, and she's like, I'm not getting both packages. She's like, which one do you want? So I had to choose at a young age whether or not I wanted Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network, and it was so hard.
I feel like Cartoon Network is the better option.
Ooh, you would think, but I went with Nickelodeon because you also got Nick at Night, and that was some of the that was some of the non-cartoon stuff I liked. I was like, Plus, I don't know. I didn't really care. There was too much on Cartoon Network I didn't like that I did like versus
because I like the shows like Dexter's Laboratory and like Johnny Bravo. I like those shows. That was all Cartoon
But
Network,
those weren't out yet at the time.
Oh, I guess.
I'm talking like
Powerpuff
younger,
Girls,
like
yeah.
5th grade and younger. 6th grade.
Yeah,
but no,
so,
I didn't write down. I love Powerpuff Girls. Oh my god. Did you watch they came back with I never watched the revival.
I watched a couple episodes of the revival and it's god awful.
Oh, that's so upsetting.
It's god awful.
Oh. Did you I know I've mentioned it, but did you watch the animated Mortal Kombat TV show?
I watched it. I remember renting the VHS from the video store, so I've seen it.
I loved it. It was so freaking cool, and I guess we didn't even get that many episodes.
I just know I've seen it.
It was really freaking cool, and I don't know, I was really obsessed with Mortal Kombat at the time because I had Mortal Kombat 2. And
there was like zero violence in that show.
It really was. It was weird. But yeah, because it was like a kid show, so they weren't like... But it relied a lot on the magical side of Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
because they couldn't really do like the fighting, and I really, as a kid, a gay child, like I loved magic, so anything like that, it was just really cool. And of course, like most, if not all, of like the superhero like cartoon shows, like X-Men and Batman being the two biggest.
Well, Batman animated series is hands down one of the greatest animated series of the 90s. Like,
of all
no
time.
debate.
I would give it up for
of all time, yeah.
Like, especially the art style and everything. Like, it's won Emmys, hasn't it? It's won Emmys, hasn't it?
Yes.
Like, that is a TV.
I have the art book that they released, like the making of Batman the animated series, and like it's one of my favorite books. It has like behind the scenes sketches, like rough sketches, like interviews. It's fantastic. And when the Blu-ray came out, I bought the Blu-ray because like seeing the show like really redone and like it's beautiful, and it still holds a lot of like what makes it
you can
dark and grainy.
There's a lot of shows from our childhood that you can't really rewatch. Like, it doesn't hold up as well. They rely on a lot of things of the time, whereas Batman the Animated Series just told like Batman stories. Like,
it's also, they made it timeless. They made it purposely not 90s. Like, there's definitely 90s elements a little bit later on, but when it first starts, like the TVs are all black and white. They're all old cars. They all have Tommy guns. It's all very in this like weird pocket of time. And then I just love that they expanded it. Like, I really enjoyed the Superman animated series, and Justice League was really great.
Yeah.
Justice League Unlimited was fantastic. So you finally got to see all these characters make it to screen that you would probably never see.
That was one of my favorite shows growing up.
Yeah,
I loved Justice League.
Well, also
Unlimited.
what I loved about it is
And
they
Justice
told adult stories. Like, it never felt like it was for kids.
No, it just felt like a superhero story being told.
Like
I mean, they wouldn't go too far, but like fucking Clayface one of Batman is still kind of scary to watch. Like,
well, I love the episode of Justice League where Hawkgirl is working with they find out she's basically a spy, and like she betrays the team.
Yeah.
And did you watch the Batman Beyond Return of the Joker?
That is one of my favorite.
That is
animated movies ever.
The greatest animated movie ever. Like, it's
that twist took me for years. 4 years. I don't want to talk about it just in case someone hasn't seen it. Like, but if you like Batman,
the fight scenes in it. Like, there's a fight scene between Harley and Batgirl, and just like every punch Batgirl lands on Harley, you feel it. Like, they went all out, and like, it's fantastic.
That was a good show too. Like, I liked it,
but it's also, I never been able to rewatch it. I think the problem with it as a show is it's supposed to be in the future, but it feels super dated is the problem.
That, and I don't think they wanted to kind of make it their own away from Batman. Like, they didn't borrow enough, I feel, from his rogues gallery throughout
They really didn't, no.
Which I get that they want to make it their own, but the appeal of Batman is, a large part of it is his rogues gallery. I would love
to see like an older Selena Kyle or like an older Dick Grayson or these like whatever.
Or, like, some more disciples of these villains. Like, all we really got was Jokers? Like, lackeys and everything? Like,
but I did enjoy they brought Mr. Freeze back, and that was really cool. He's just ahead.
Which, okay, that can pivot over to Futurama is an amazing animated show. It got jacked around so hard throughout its life.
It was really good, and then it was really bad, and then it got good again.
Yeah,
I think it ended on a good note. I will say that last season, I really enjoyed. I thought the last episode was a really interesting idea and a good way to end the show.
It gives me hope for ending The Simpsons, but I don't know.
I will say The Simpsons, like the first 10 seasons are fucking amazing.
Perfect. I would even go up to 13, honestly.
Yeah, okay. I agree.
Because 12 has some really good ones.
Because my boyfriend and I just watch them occasionally. We'll be like, what do you want to watch? Let's watch some Simpsons. And like,
it's hard to stop once you're like, oh, let me put on an episode, and then you're like 12 deep, and you're like, how are we on season 8 now? What is going on? We started at 4.
Back to Futurama. My favorite episode is the Lucy Liu episode.
What?
Where it's like Fry like has the robot Lucy Liu and is dating her.
Oh my god. I know it's talked about a lot on the internet, but the fucking dog episode is one of the saddest moments on TV ever, and that came from a goddamn cartoon. Like, that broke so many hearts. Might as well have been a Pixar film.
That was also just a really good episode in general.
Yeah. What? Oh, did you watch Angry Beavers?
No, I thought it was stupid.
Oh my god, I love. What about?
I thought it was stupid.
I'm guessing you didn't watch SpongeBob then.
That's on my list of shows I hated as a kid.
Oh my god, I was obsessed.
Thought SpongeBob was the most annoying thing to come out of TV.
So Nickelodeon did this thing one summer where, I don't know if they did it every summer, I just remember the summer SpongeBob came out, where they would air like a bunch of pilots at the beginning of the summer and like see which ones people liked or whatever, and then you got the series come fall, and I remember watching the SpongeBob pilot and I loved it, and it was just so great, and then came back, and I was so obsessed with that show. It's ridiculous. I don't even want to talk about it actually too much. But I did have this really obnoxiously fun alarm clock in like 10th grade that would sing the SpongeBob fun song with this really loud boat horn at the beginning and end of it. It was literally the only thing to get me up for school because I slept through everything else. But there was like a literal foghorn at the beginning and end of it. It was great. Why? Oh, no, I get it. You don't even need to talk. I understand. I know why you hate it. We don't need to go into that.
Did you ever watch, or do you remember a show called Mummies Alive?
Like the Mummy? Like the Brendan Fraser movie?
It's called Mummies Alive. It's like this animated show, and it's... So this kid finds these mummies, and he's like the reincarnated prince of Egypt, and these mummies are like to protect him.
Yeah, I watched Yu-Gi-Oh! I loved Yu-Gi-Oh!
It was one of my favorite shows. And then also, I don't know if you ever watched it, because I think it was Canadian, but Cyber 6 was also like a fantastic show.
Reboot. Speaking of Canadian,
Reboot!
I did not write
Beast
that down.
Wars. I did not write those down.
Reboot and Beast Wars, like two of the greatest shows ever. God, Beast Wars.
So Mainframe is Reboot. In Vancouver. That was Canadian. That's like to watch. I rewatched Beast Wars like a couple years ago when the DVDs came out, and like yeah, the animation's like obviously not the greatest, but it still holds up pretty well for a show that was in like '96. Oh my god, I was so obsessed. Something that like predated like Toy Story and like kind of like was better than it had any right to be.
It did, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And like just the Beast Wars story like alone is fantastic, and Reboot has a fantastic story once it became more serialized. Like when Bob is like thrown into like the internet and
comes back all badass and rugged.
Well, when Enzo loses the game,
yeah,
and it's like just like game over, user wins, and like Dot just starts crying. And like,
I got chills.
It makes it even better because it was like a Mortal Kombat game that he loses in. And he's like dressed as like a little scorpion.
That's
like,
right.
And then he gets his eye slashed out. Oh my god. And then just like Andrea and Frisket are just like watching, and they can't do anything because it's a fighter game and only one player can play at a time. Oh.
That was such a good show. Oh, it did not deserve.
Season 3 is like
to get canceled.
Fantastic.
Weren't they going to bring that back?
So they did bring it back on Netflix as Reboot Guardian Code, but it's like garbage. It's more live action than CGI.
That's right. I remember that once I saw it was live action, I was like, nope, okay, bye. Don't need.
And also, Beast Wars is my first real like. I have a Beast Wars tattoo, so like clearly it really resonated with me. I have Optimus Primal on my leg, but that was my first real introduction to Transformers, and I had so many of the toys, and I loved Black Arachnia, and when she like came out to be good, like so like because Silverbolt was like the hot guy of the Beast Wars. Anyway, I can talk about this stuff forever. Oh my god.
I was gonna say, I loved the Beast Wars toys. Like, that's all I ever asked for. I was like, I don't care. Like, just if you can give me one Beast War toy, that's all I want. Like,
Yeah.
pure.
I want a
And
Beast
then
War.
one of my cousins would always like try to play with them. And he's younger than me, and he would like end up breaking them. And then like, so I would try to hide them, and then like his dad would come and find them and give them to him. Like, I would put them up on like this really high shelf that I know he couldn't get to. So like his dad would just get them down so we could play with them. And I'm like, I don't have much. Like, I have these. Let me, don't break these. Fucking love those. That's another thing. Like, I miss, I guess. I mean, I guess they have it now, but just like, toys. Like, toys for cartoons and shit. Like,
it's not the same. Also, I think like
that.
toy sales are so much. It's so different now how toys work.
Well, it kind of drives what shows are on.
Yeah, but I just don't see the toys as like, they're not as cool as they used to be. Or maybe just because I'm an adult now. I
think
know.
that's it. Because I mean, it's not like our toys were that much cooler.
The Beast Wars were
it's not like they
fucking
did
amazing.
anything different. And they have Transformers toys. Like,
Whatever.
it's all gonna.
One more show I want to talk about from my childhood is Digimon, because I thought as much as like Pokemon is like a far better like game franchise, Digimon had the better cartoon, hands down.
It did, and I never got to it. I only ever watched it one. I mean, I guess I watched them both only once, but like Digimon, I never got to quite see the full, like all of season 1 and 2. But like the last, what is it, 3, 4, and 5, or is it just 3 and 4?
I think there's like 6.
Oh, I saw everything after season 2, but like the first 2, I didn't really get to see much. So I always saw like the fun when they try to like reinvent it with like a card game and becoming the Digimon.
The third one was cool when like that one was cool.
I liked them. Like I like every time whenever I'd get home from school, I always watched it. So loved it.
Well, there's a new Digimon show that just restarted. Like, it's a retelling of the first season, and it's so good. It feels like it's drawn in the style of the original anime, but like if that anime had like a huge budget, because it's so good, so good.
I'm gonna have it's all subbed, huh?
It's all subbed, yeah. Like they just aired episode 2 like 2 days ago.
I'm gonna have to watch it next year because I am so lazy.
That's fine.
And like, okay,
it was supposed to be dubbed and subbed like simultaneously, but no one's dubbing anything right now.
Yeah, fair. Pokemon frustrated me more, like week to week, because there was so much filler that wasn't like
the problem with Pokemon is Ash is an awful trainer. Ash is just the worst fucking trainer. Yeah.
And you're always rooting for like Brock and Misty. You're not rooting for Ash. You're you're just wanting to see new Pokemon and not rooting for never rooting for Ash. Well, and then he would give away all of his good Pokemon. Just made no sense.
And he never won any of his like gym battles. He just like
lucked into it.
Like he cheated against Brock. You can't use the sprinkler system.
Well, he was just showing like the rest of the league, hey, this is what's to come. This is what I'm going to be doing. Just to let you know. And then like it just like did good deeds. Here's a badge for doing a good deed. Like that's not how Pokemon works. But I am glad he lost the Indigo League. Like that was at least realistic. Yeah, it's like his first journey. It definitely, yeah. So a little bit of obscure one. Did you ever watch Braceface? Yeah, because that's Canadian. Is it? With Alicia Silverstone? Alicia Silverstone, yeah, it's Canadian. Oh my god, I loved that show. I didn't like watch it like religiously, but I have seen it. But because I know it's Canadian. And then another one that it was a Nickelodeon show, As Told by Ginger. I know of it. I've seen bits and pieces. That was really, oh god, I loved it. Okay. A superhero show that I don't think gets nearly enough love because I don't think people watched it as much, but Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends that had like Starfire and Iceman and him as roommates. Not Starfire. Starfire is DC. Oh, Firestar. No. Wow. I had the Fire Girl. Sunfire?
I don't know. I
Sunflower.
know of it. I remember it, but I didn't care for it. I was never like, I like the Spider-Man animated series, I guess, and of course the X-Men animated series was like amazing.
Oh, that holds up still too. Like if you love classic X-Men,
it's rough.
if you love classic X-Men, like the comics and shit, it's like a direct. It's so God. That's something that stayed close to source material too. And did it well.
And now on Disney Plus, you can have X-Men icons, which is really cool.
Do 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 do. And the theme song,
like, Batman the animated series, and then like X-Men the animated series as a second. Like
Top
nothing's
2.
beating Batman. Like I'm sorry, X-Men, you're good. You're not that good.
I agree. I love like those are like my 2 favorite. Like if you were to pick like, superhero, established, it would be Batman and X-Men. Like. And it's because of those shows, growing up with them.
I think that's why people really want the X-Men in the MCU to be done right. Because we grew up with these characters. And
we grew up with them done right.
X2 is like a fantastic movie. And
it is.
I will say the first 2 X-Men movies are great interpretation of X-Men for what needed to be done at the time. Because there's no way you couldn't have Hugh Jackman running around in yellow spandex. Like it wasn't going to work.
In a grounded X-Men way, yeah.
Yeah, they did what they had to do. And they gave us, like, the best Mystique I think I've ever seen. Like,
oh my God. Rebecca Romijn was a phenomenal Mystique.
Yeah,
she owned the role.
They took a character that was, like, cool in the comics and, like, they elevated her to, like, this... Yeah, they elevated her way above.
I mean, I know they really couldn't have with how the story went, but it would have been nice to have seen... Did either iteration do Nightcrawler as Mystique's son?
I think it was no.
No. See, I would have liked. No. I think that would have been a bit deeper than like a love story. The only thing
that was really upsetting about those movies is we never got to see Rogue's full potential.
Yeah, and Anna Paquin is a good choice for Rogue.
I think it's just. Everyone's like, well, you need Captain Marvel. I'm like, they could have found another way for her to have her powers.
Yeah. They switched how Captain Marvel got her powers. Like,
I know.
They could have done that for Rogue. Like, come on, people. It's not that hard.
Okay, so what were your favorite animated shows as an adult?
Oh, God. American Dad is probably
the
top
new season
tier
just started
now.
last night. Had a really good episode.
Ooh, gotta watch that. Still haven't. Bob's Burgers, amazing.
Yes,
like
I'm excited for the movie. I'm sure that's being delayed now, but I'm excited.
It's probably the best animated sitcom of our generation.
I think it has a really rough start. Like I hated it when I first started watching it.
It finds its groove.
I do think Tina. I think everyone acts like she's the best character, and she's really not the best.
Jean
character.
is.
Gene. It's Gene.
Gene's the best character.
Gene.
Gene is an icon.
Gene, and then Tammy is my personal favorite character.
Yes. Oh no, it's Gene then Linda.
Whenever she shows up, I'm so excited.
Gene then Linda for me, and then Tammy. Yeah.
Tammy. Yeah.
And then Bob. Like it's not. I don't tend to like the main male character in those types of shows, but like Bob is an icon. Like he's just such a good character. He is such a fun.
Give it up.
And Archer.
I was just gonna say Archer is. I think Archer shot itself in the foot the last couple seasons.
Oh yeah, I haven't.
Different, but like the first
really
few seasons are a fantastic show. Like it's so funny. Also, like. It's so funny because my friend started watching it like years after it started. She's like, is this supposed to be like a joke that it's called ISIS? I'm like, no, this was like way before that all started. There's like, they stopped calling it ISIS, but it was way before the whole ISIS thing became as big as it did.
Oh my God. That's so great. See, and I did the same thing. I came into it a little bit later and I was like, this is the funniest fucking, I thought it was on purpose and I thought it was the funniest fucking thing. So now I learned something new today. Steven Universe.
I just couldn't get into it.
I like devoured that show, and then I haven't seen Steven Universe Future, but I finally watched the movie. and I'm surprised
I watched the
you
movie and I
liked it as
enjoyed
much
it.
as you did. I mean, I loved it.
The movie
but,
also like did a quick recap, so I was able to kind of like follow along.
and it's not hard. Like if you've, well, no, it gets really kind of serialized towards
all
the
I know
end.
is like Rose Garnet is like a piece of shit, and that's kind of the moral of the story.
That's all you need to know. That's all you.
Yeah.
And Steven has to pay for it throughout his entire life. Yeah, which is such a good story. Oh, like you wouldn't expect that out of a kid's show, but
yeah,
that I don't know. It's a really good one.
It is that because a lot of the times the mother characters are always like the saintly, like and whenever they're like they've died, it's like they're this like untouchable goddess type character, but like she was so flawed and like made
like how do you deal with
mistakes.
Finding out like a dead parent wasn't like a good person? Like how do you reconcile that? And it's like a really fucking deep thing for a kid show. Yeah. It feels, but I appreciate it for that because now I enjoy it. The first 3 seasons of Family Guy.
I still watch Family Guy. It's okay.
I liked the first 3, but I also watched them mainly as a teenager, so humor has changed, but there's still some bits I'll like call back to and remember and just.
Well, one of my favorite episodes of Family Guy is like the murder mystery episode, and like they'll go to like James Woods' like mansion. That's a really good episode.
Is that an early episode?
It's a later episode.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I don't remember that.
South Park.
Yes,
I watched South Park as a kid.
I guess
allowed to, but
I did too. I did too, and then,
but I didn't understand it and appreciate it until I was an adult.
I think because it was everyone was like it's like Beavis and Butthead, but like Beavis and Butthead and The Simpsons, but like way worse. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I watched that way too young, like way too young, but I loved it. And like I remember sneaking to watch the pilot episode because my uncle was watching it, and like I was supposed to be asleep, but I like crawled out and like the couch faced the TV, but its back was towards where I was sleeping, so I just like snuck out and watched from behind. If he got up at commercial, I'd like duck back and go to the room and wait for it. It was great. Should not have watched that. But in that same vein, I hated Ren and Stimpy.
Well, I hated it too. Ren and Stimpy wasn't funny. It was just gross-out humor.
It was dumb. It was so fucking dumb. It made my skin crawl a lot. Yeah. Like it was gross and not a fun gross. I don't know.
The last show that I had kind of as my adult was Clone High.
I never watched that. No, but I have one that's going to be similar.
Is it the Oblongs?
No. Oh my god, I loved the Oblongs.
But Clone High was fantastic. It was like I would think it was MTV that had it, and it was only on 1 season, but it's on DVD, I think, still, and it's hilarious. And they ended on a cliffhanger, and the people who made it are Chris Lord and Phil Miller, I think. Phil Lord and Chris Miller. They did Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh.
And it's so mean. There's a poster in Into the Spider-Verse of like Clone College, like a sequel, and it was like so mean.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's really neat. No, Total Drama Island.
I didn't like that.
Oh my god, I fucking ate it up. And that came out like in my 20s. But like I loved that. I remember show.
It was really big on DeviantArt. It was really big on DeviantArt.
And 16, I think it is, where they all
that one I know for sure is Canadian 16.
I loved it.
No, I didn't like the style. I didn't like the animation style of that one.
I did. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Yeah. Did you? I can't remember the exact title of it, but it's kind of similar to Steven Universe. It's a Star versus the Evils
Star
of the Universe.
Evil?
Yeah, something like that. That was like a really fun show. Me and Austin like binged the first 2 seasons one day. It was cute. It was really fun. That good. It was fun. And
so, what are your favorite? Oh, you got more?
I do. Did you ever watch Metalocalypse?
No.
Oh my god, that was one of my favorite shows. It was like a death metal. Did you Do you know about it? It's about like this death metal band.
Oh,
It's like
I
a
do
parody
know about
on it.
Yes.
And they like you got real songs out of it, and they were some of the like greatest fucking hilarious.
Oh,
best
Aqua Teen
songs.
Hunger Force. I used to watch. I used to love that show.
That was a good show.
Yeah.
I was never really big into that, but home movies as well.
Home movie. Anything with what's his name, right? Like
Brendan Small.
No, the guy who voices like Bob, because he was the coach on that, right?
Oh yeah. I was thinking of because the guy who did home movies did Metalocalypse and
Oh no.
did he do Aqua Teen?
I don't know.
No, he didn't. I don't think he did Aqua Teen.
I just remember when I worked at Dairy Queen, a girl there like loved Aqua Teen and like lent me the first couple seasons, and I kind of delved into that for a while.
I think it gets more praise than it deserves.
I mean, probably.
It's one of those shows. Oh, and Adventure Time.
Well, that's going to be one of my favorite children's shows in adult is Adventure Time.
Oh,
I know.
When I said that, I meant more like what child show that you watch do you like as an adult the most?
Like
But that's
still?
fine. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
It does.
Yeah, Adventure Time. The first few seasons of Adventure Time are really good, and then I also really like they did in like 10 years ago, they did like The Batman, which I thought was a really cool interpretation of Batman.
I loved the Batman. The Aquaman, that is the best rendition of Aquaman we have ever gotten. He was such a fucking idiot and is perfect.
You're thinking of Batman Brave and the Bold.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, I loved Batman Brave and the Bold. I didn't really watch much of the Batman, but
The
Brave
Batman
and the Bold.
it was like
so good.
different takes on the characters, and they had Poison Ivy and Batgirl went to high school together, and they were friends beforehand. I thought it was a neat.
I didn't like the Riddler, so I kind of like got really pissy.
Oh, because he was. Yeah, I get it.
I got really pissy at that. So I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Fuck this. Brave and the Bold. Brave and the
Because
Bold
Brave
was
and the
so
Bold was
funny.
like retelling like golden age stories of the characters.
It just making them
Yeah.
stupid, and I appreciated what they did with that show quite a bit. Like best Aquaman. That's one of my favorite episodes of
Jason
anything
Momoa
Batman.
was the best Aquaman, but whatever.
Well, I didn't fall asleep watching Brave and the Bold, so twice.
Whatever.
So we'll see. Are there any shows you would like, cartoon shows you would like to see in a live action?
Yeah, I would like to see Digimon as a live action.
That would be really fucking cool, especially with having seen Pokemon.
Yeah, I thought Detective Pikachu. I didn't care for the story of Detective Pikachu, but like the world they brought was really cool.
No, Detective Pikachu was a perfect movie up until the last 5 minutes.
Yes. Also, because the twist was the most obvious twist ever.
I was hoping it wasn't the twist, though. Oh my god,
Also,
I love that movie
I'm
so
really
much.
sick of Mewtwo. We've done Mewtwo to death. There's other Pokemon out there.
I know, but they have to establish the first. And he's like, it made sense. Like, he's such an important part of the beginning lore.
Whatever. I would like
is.
what I would really like is a Pokemon. Like, this is my dream story. If I had to write a Pokemon story, it would be like a young Professor Oak and like a young Giovanni, and have them as friends, and then like divide as they grow
and
up.
like some sexual tension.
Obviously, but like
Okay.
PG sexual tension.
So, like what they're doing with Fantastic Beasts and Grindelwald and Dumbledore, but like Giovanni and young Professor Oak. I would dig that. As long as we have a good cast, I would be down for that. That would actually be really fun. But I
would
think
also just like them to do more of a exploring and Pokemon battles and more interaction with Pokemon. Because the
I
design
can't wait for a
like,
sequel. I need a sequel.
I never thought I'd be a Mr. Mime fan, but what they did for him in that movie was like
a breakout star. Breakout fucking star.
That was a glow up. If I've ever seen one, was Mr. Mime in
He went from zero to hero in like
Zero to Hero, yeah.
a 30-second trailer. Like everyone fell in love with him. Same with Psyduck. Like
I have a personal issue with Psyduck because my favorite Pokemon is Staryu, and in the anime, anytime Misty went to go use Staryu, Psyduck came out instead, so I was robbed of Staryu.
I kind of do wish this was video so that people could just see me just shaking my head at you.
In your yellow Psyduck shirt, whatever.
I love this shirt. Oh, King of the Hill. How we not? That's like one of the greatest
Aren't they bringing that back as well?
They Mike Judge has said he has an idea for how to bring it.
So here's the second thing about King of the Hill. It's not available anywhere to watch.
We've ended up buying them through Amazon. Like we watched. I came into King of the Hill late in life, not until it was airing on Adult Swim.
Oh, I watched it on Fox when it was airing with Simpsons and Family
So
Guy.
like my parents used to watch it, and like I would watch it occasionally with them, but I was never like, oh god, yeah, King of the Hill. But I got into it
because it's not
hard
flashy
when it was an Adult.
It doesn't
Swim.
have any flashiness, which I really appreciate. My favorite episode is when Peggy,
anything with Peggy.
Well, when she finds the shoe store and she doesn't realize her new girlfriend is like just a guy in drag.
Oh God, yes.
And then he thinks Peggy is just a guy in drag.
Or where Peggy gets them all lost in Mexico on the field trip.
Oh, yes. She just won't admit that she doesn't know Spanish.
Yes.
Like, she just will not admit it. So.
Bobby taking the self-defense lessons. That's iconic.
Oh, when Peggy does, like, the foot fetish thing. It's so gross. God. But I just remember her crushing an egg, I think, with her foot.
I would love... You're a podcast, Hank Hill. Like that. Oh, my God. That is such a good show. That is such a quietly good show.
Yeah.
I love it. I don't know. My problem with like taking anything cartoonish into live action is the voices. Like, if it's an established show, it's kind of hard to have it in a live action without using those voices.
That's why Digimon would work, because you could just because I would love... they've done Sailor Moon live action. They did a show of it in Japan, like, in 2004.
Well, they had a US one, too, that they never really released.
No. So, like, I would love to see Sailor Moon, like, as, like, a live action film. I just don't think they could do it in, like, an hour and a half movie.
What about a live action TV show? Like Netflix or something, like a 10 episode...
The only problem is they would then make them all, like, American.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be whitewashed as fuck.
Yeah, which is... Like, if you had, like, a diverse cast, I can maybe see it working. But there's just something so stupid about Sailor Moon that I just don't think will translate very well. The way it worked in Japan, and the only reason it worked is because it was basically like Power Rangers, but Sailor Moon. Well, so it didn't take itself seriously.
Yeah, that's what I feel. They would take it too seriously, and you need, like... a super comedic actress as like
you would need
Serena.
A super comedic actress, yeah.
Like you would need an Anna Faris type to take the role.
But she's like 20 years too old to be playing a 14-year-old.
Oh my god! But let's just go with it. Let's just don't even acknowledge it.
For Sailor Moon, I would go with Mia Whitman from The Duff. Like she would be my casting for Sailor Moon.
I don't know who that is.
Have you never seen The Duff?
No. What is that? Like Duff Man? Thrusting in the direction of the problem.
It's a movie, The Duff.
Oh, yes. Okay, I was thinking of a TV show. I thought you were talking about a TV show. I was like, I don't know what that is. No, I've seen The Duff, yeah.
Yeah, I think she'd be a good Sailor Moon.
Okay, I can see that.
Because you also need a Sailor Moon that's like, the whole point of Sailor Moon is supposed to be like, not super skinny, even though she is like super skinny.
Because it's
Yeah.
She like eats constantly. It's her thing. Yeah. She's called me, I guess, Meatball for the hair, but
yeah, I don't know about any of those shows live action. Like, I think Adventure Time could be interesting. I just don't know how it would work.
Because it's a lot of, I don't think there'd be a lot of CGI.
That's also the thing. A lot of these shows would just be CGI, so it'd just be like a CGI movie. Like, I would love Batman the Animated Series done as live action, because they've yet to do that properly, but whatever.
Or X-Men. I think X-Men would do better as a live-action TV show that was given a like Game of Thrones budget.
Speaking of X-Men, I also really enjoyed Wolverine and the X-Men, that cartoon that came out.
Oh, X-Men Evolution?
And X-Men Evolution was really cool. But Wolverine and the X-Men had Emma Frost as the main character, and it was like the best thing ever.
That was a really good limited series.
That also ended on a cliffhanger.
Did it have 2 seasons?
I only had 1 season.
Oh, it was really good. I remember watching that like well after it came out. But
then they got like, I'm sick of Jean Grey. Like, she's not interesting anymore because it's always the same.
It's
her claim to fame is just
bad.
Phoenix, so you just know like at some point she's gonna die and then come back as evil.
Mm-hmm.
So like with that, they kind of just got rid of her, which was really nice.
Well, if we need a House of M story is what we really need, and I think they might. I don't know. We already have an established Scarlet Witch, so it'd be really not easy, but like a good transition character-wise.
It's so hard for them because like she's not a mutant.
They're gonna retcon that. They're gonna retcon that,
and
they have
but,
to.
I mean,
They have to.
I would love for Quicksilver to come back just because I love
Aaron Johnson.
Aaron Taylor Johnson. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't get his middle name.
No, he got married. He took his like wife's. They abbreviated the names.
Oh, whatever.
He's a
My
progressive.
bad. I'm sorry.
He's a progressive man.
Is there any show from your childhood you would like to see rebooted?
I would love to see Beast Wars rebooted.
That would be super cool. I would like.
Apparently, they're working on a live action movie for that as well.
Beast Wars.
Beast Wars is one of the things the Hasbro's working on for live action, or Paramount or whatever.
Can we bring back Megan Fox? Let's do that. Let's right some wrongs. Let's let Megan Fox lead the Beast Wars franchise. I just don't like the
idea of seeing these animals being ripped apart.
They're gonna have to be in their like robot form when they're ripped apart. They can't do it when they're like looking like a mouse or something.
And just like
fucking Rat Trap.
Because the whole point of Rat Trap is you see his brain.
And, like, I know, it's so cool.
And like you see like the inside of their bodies, which is like it doesn't look disgusting because it's animated, but like in real life you just see like this flesh.
Oh, it's gonna be so cool.
Like I would love just a rebooted animated series from the same team that did Transformers Prime, because Transformers Prime is really good.
Never saw that.
Yeah, it's fine.
I want
a Transformers Prime. The main character had a female Autobot, which was like really progressive at the time. But I would, a reboot of of Beast Wars. Because I thought Beast Machines was really weak, and I thought it really sullied the show. How about you?
Oh, I can go now? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I want Mortal Kombat back. I want that as an animated show. I'm excited for the movie that's coming out. And they have the animated movie, which I'm going to watch tonight. But I think it would do so well as an a R-rated animated show. Like, give me that. Stop trying to make a live action. Well, I want this live action movie because I want to see how it does. But like, also still give me an animated show. Like,
I think if this movie does well, they might. Because I don't know, because they need content for that HBO Max. And Mortal Kombat. I still think Mortal Kombat should have been a TV show, like a HBO level TV show.
That would have been so cool. There's so much lore to go with.
There's so much lore, and there's just so many characters.
It's essentially Game of Thrones, but with like more fighting and brutality.
It is. It's Game of Thrones with more
wizardry instead of like swords. That's it. Like, instead of a throne of like swords and whatever, it's like a throne of body parts. Really come on.
But I'm hoping, because they definitely set up the movie for a sequel, so I'm hoping we get more out of that. Because I've been rewatching the DC animated movies, and they're pretty good. Like, there's this like follow through storyline for all these movies, and
and it's coming to a head.
Yeah, and I would love it. I would have loved it to be an animated series, but I think the movie gives it a little more quality. Mm-hmm. The only problem is you don't get as much story time with the characters. There's
less downtime because it has to be driven like story, because it's a movie. That's what you're here for.
Yeah.
You're not here to like build these characters over 10 to 12 episodes.
A lot of the times, like, especially the one thing with Mortal Kombat I noticed when I watched it was, if you're not like a fan, some of the stuff goes like way over your head. Like, Katana's in it, but they don't actually really ever say her name or introduce her. So it's like, unless you know who she is, you have no idea really what's going on.
Sad. Well, we'll see that soon, I guess. Is there any animated show you hate as an adult? Like, hate.
Nothing that I like hate. They're just shows I don't care about.
But I can't think of anything I was like racking my brain trying to think, like, what do I hate? Like, But there's nothing I don't know.
Because there's really nothing out there right now that's like... The only kind of animated shows I hate are so aimed towards like little kids. It's weird that if I hate it, I just don't have like a fun opinion on it.
Like, Travis, this isn't for you. You don't need to hate this.
Yeah, exactly. So...
Which a lot of people don't get. A lot of people don't get. It's really unfortunate.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else?
I forgot to mention Card Captors is also a really good show I liked as a kid. It just had like the best opening theme song ever.
It was so good. Oh, Jackie Chan Adventures. Did you watch that?
Yes, of course I did, with Jackie Chan himself.
Fucking so good. That was
I would love that as a live action movie.
Yes, actually. That would be so good. Or reboot it. Like, that was such a good show. But I don't want to reboot. I want the same cast and characters. Like, I want...
know, right? But, like, just have them a little older. Have, like, Jade as, like, a teenager now.
That would be perfect. And you can have Jackie a little bit older. He can't do as much. And then Grandpa could be, like, in a chair or something. Or just kicking as much ass as usual.
Yeah.
I'd be down for that. Did you watch Shaolin Showdown?
I know of it, but I never watched it. That's the one where like he's like a circle. His head's like a giant circle, right?
Yeah,
with dots on it.
Yes,
he looks like Krillin, right?
Yes, yes. That was such a good show. I loved it.
Is there any shows you would have loved to seen as like an animated show? Because I know they did that Buffy animated pilot.
Oh,
and I thought a Buffy animated show would have been really cool, but like maybe not in like the high school years, but I understand why they'd pick the high school years. It's the easiest to do.
Yeah. I would like something post season 7 animated in terms of Buffy. But Magicians would be really fun animated to continue the story as long as we keep the same voice actors. Or the actors do the voice.
Yeah. I would love, and I don't know why they've never done this, I would love a Power Rangers animated show, like a Mighty Morphins.
Is weird. That is really weird.
Because you could just like get most of the cast to come back. I don't see why they wouldn't. They all go to conventions. They all need money.
Don't we all?
So, and it would be the easiest way just to do like the Mighty Morphin era.
That would be really neat.
Yeah.
And you can do so much more. Yeah. Just in terms of like the monsters they fight and everything and like the action sequences.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be like super robotic of the robots. I'm trying to think of what else would be kind of fun. Like something that wouldn't be necessarily like magical. Because I mean, that's going to be their first go-to because that opens up a realm of possibility. But then we saw with Joss that giving him open range with season 8 was not the best decision for him.
Nope.
Nope. Trying to think if there's... I can't think of anything right now. You didn't give me this question ahead of time. I wasn't able to think of it properly.
About it. Wow. And I'm trying to think, like, what do I like?
What do I like? What kind of things would I like to see?
I would love a Tomb Raider animated series.
Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Harry Potter animated. Actually, I think that's like in a very specific art style.
Because Warner Brothers has like a studio set up for animated movies. I don't know why they don't use it more. Like Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings.
I think they did it a while back and I watched it and I didn't really care for it, but there was a book series called Sideways Stories from Wayside School. And it was like one of my favorite books.
They did an animated show about that.
And I don't remember really caring for it, so I'd like to see that, but no one liked it.
I remember like enjoying it for what it was.
Maybe I'll have to rewatch it, but that was one of my favorite book series as a kid, and it's ripe for an animated series. There's so many bonkers storylines in it. It's so great. I love it.
Ooh, like an Animorphs animated series. I would kill for
Why
that.
haven't we gotten anything with Animorphs?
I don't know why Netflix doesn't do a live action show of that. Because there was one, and I really enjoyed it.
There was.
I mean, the blue alien dude looked rough, but it was in the 90s.
I watched most of the TV show or whatever, and I really wanted the book series. And my mom ordered it for me through like the Scholastic
Yeah.
Remember, you can order through that. And then my stepdad's sister, it was like delivered to her, and then she said she never got it, and so I never got it. I'm like, okay, like, so I never got to read it, and I was really upset because it was like the complete series. And it was a birthday present that I never got. So sad. Whatever. I think that's all I can really think of that I would kind of kill for.
Yeah.
I know there's something else I'm missing that I'm gonna punch myself in the throat for. For some reason, I wanted to say Parks and Rec.
That'd be a weird animated show.
Wouldn't it? Or like Gossip Girl. Oh, something like that. Something that's like ordinary, but like make it a little more extra through animation. I don't know.
How about a Veronica Mars animated series?
That I'd be down for that.
Taking place during season 1?
I
feel like you'd have to take place during high school.
If you had to do it with high school, I'd rather season 2 then. We have more characters to play with.
That's true.
Better, the relationships are already established.
But like, here's the choice though. You have Meg or you have Jackie.
I was just gonna say pre-Donut Run or post-Donut Run.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Right. So do you want Meg and Duncan or do you want Jackie?
Fuck off. I hate you. This is a horrible decision. I hate you. Let's end this. Do you have anything else before?
Not that I can think of, no.
Alrighty. So if you would like to follow us on social media, we are at veronicamarspod on Twitter and Instagram. Be sure to subscribe to us on whatever podcast platform you are using. And if there is a rating system, please find the 5th star and give it a little tappa. Travis is giving a thumbs up, letting you know, please do that. If you would like to follow me personally on social media, I am Ojo on Twitter. That is OHJEAUX. Travis has a few places he is as well.
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Travis Truant. That's Travis, then TRUANT for Truant.
Wow. And with that, we will see you guys next week with another one of these episodes. Because I don't think we'll have Veronica Mars at that time. But I hope you all are going to have a better day than my husband will, because he wants me to cut his hair now. And this is only going to end in tragedy. Goodbye. Bye. Gross.
You tried to say Veronica Mars. We get it. Girl detectives are bitchier than regular detectives. Not into it.